Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the coronavirus-free first premiere episode of Listen to Me here on Dreamland Boxing Unlimited. I'm Bobby Dream. I am your host, and let me tell you something right now. Let's get right into it. I've got something special for you. All right, first and foremost, Bob Arum. He has been in talks. Legendary promoter, top ranks Bob Arum. He has been in talks with none other than Vince McMahon of the World Wrestling Entertainment Company. He wants to run shows in late June, early July. He wants to start running boxing out of Full Sail University. That's right. Bob Arum wants to run shows out of the WWE Performance Center in Florida. Vince McMahon is a very powerful man. Believe it or not, in Florida right now, essential businesses, doctor's office, pharmacy, and WWE. I kid you not. Vince McMahon, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, has deemed the WWE an essential business. Really? Yes, that's a fact. And because of this, Vince McMahon is in a unique position right now. And Bob Arum, he sees this. Bob Arum has been one of the longest standing promoters in boxing and one of the best promoters in boxing for a reason. Because he's a very smart man. And he knows who to do business with and who not to do business with. And Vince McMahon, they actually have a good relationship currently, Bob Arum and Vince McMahon. There has been a talent exchange in the past, a quote-unquote talent exchange, if you will. Don't forget, less than 6 months ago, Braun Strowman took place in a wrestling match against Tyson Fury. The same Tyson Fury who is the greatest heavyweight boxer in the world today. The WBC, the Ring Magazine, and the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. Just defeated Deontay Wilder. That's not news to anybody in the boxing world. Okay, but Bob Arum and Vince, they have a good relationship. So that's actually going to give Top Rank the inside track to running boxing events first in Florida, definitely, if not overall. And that will be great for the boxing community and for the world at large because, let's face it, there's been no NBA playoffs. There's been no sports at all. So to finally get something back for boxing to be maybe the first in the summer in Florida, that's going to be spectacular. That's going to be special. And I look forward to the future, and I want to see what happens with Bob Arum and Vince McMahon. Now, this story was delivered not by some wrestling page or some strange third party. No, this is from ESPN.com. This is also from CBSSports.com. Bob Arum is talking to Vince McMahon. He wants to do business with him. He wants to run boxing shows at a Full Sail University where currently Vince McMahon runs NXT out of, and I believe they ran WrestleMania out of there as well, in a closed environment. But they have been running wrestling shows from Full Sail. So it's a safe environment. They have the facility to have a ring, and they have the green light from the Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis, which is a very big thing, which is deemed them to be an essential business. That's tremendous. That is huge. Moving on. Keith Thurman, this is according to Boxing Scene, Keith Thurman is still clout chasing Terence Crawford. And let me tell you something. Anybody who's anybody in the boxing world, a boxing fan, this is a spectator sport, so any spectator of boxing, and anybody who's involved in boxing knows that Keith Thurman don't want that smoke. Keith Thurman has never wanted to fight with Terence Crawford. Keith Thurman has discredited Terence Crawford's WBO World Championship, his Cruiserweight Championship. He discredited the WBO. The same WBO, that championship belt was held by currently Anthony Joshua, who made $90 million to regain that belt as a challenger as part of the unified World Heavyweight Championship that he just regained in Saudi Arabia. Okay, which was held by Andy Ruiz previous to that. The WBO Championship has just as much value as the WBC, as the IBF, as the WBA. That's a fact. And in some circles and in some instances, it has more. It does. It has more in some instances. For example, right now, possibly the best fighter in the world, Terence Crawford, pound for pound, one of the best resumes in the world right now. The best, in my opinion, American boxer today, Terence Crawford, the WBO welterweight champion. Okay? So in my opinion, that gives that title some esteem. Anthony Joshua, the heavyweight champion, that gives that title some esteem. The WBO championship is just as valuable as any others. But if you ask Keith Thurman in the past, he'll call Terence Crawford barely a champion. Yet he says, within the past 24 hours, he says, send the contract and I'll sign it, in reference to a fight with Bud Crawford. But everybody knows that Keith Thurman does not want that smoke. Keith Thurman has not wanted a real problem with any real boxer since Errol Spence challenged him over 2 years ago. When Errol Spence was looking for Keith Thurman was nowhere to be found. He prioritized fights with guys like Paulie Malignaggi, Danny Garcia, over fighting Errol Spence. Now, I'm not discrediting Paulie Malignaggi. I think the guy's a great fighter. And I'm not discrediting Danny Garcia. He's a great fighter. But at no time within the past 3 years has Keith Thurman really made a priority of fighting the true great white sharks of his division. He hasn't. When he got in the ring with an old shark, in the form of Manny Pacquiao, he got his ass whipped. And that was within the past year. He got his ass whipped. He got beat up by Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's a legend. He's 40 years old. He's 40 years old. He's a shark. He's a great white. He's got great big teeth and he can beat you. But he's an older shark. And I can tell you this. Manny Pacquiao has never wanted to fight Terence Crawford. Or he may have wanted to, but whether it was Freddie Roach or whoever his handlers, whoever his management was at the time, they didn't want him to fight Terence Crawford. Why? Because he's a young shark in his prime. So what does that tell you? Keith Thurman got in the ring with Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao's management team said, okay, we'll get rid of him, and he lost. Yet that same Manny Pacquiao, the same handlers, they had wanted no part of Terence Crawford. Yet somehow Keith Thurman wants to sell you a bill of goods like he wants a piece of Terence Crawford. Wouldn't fight Spence. You lost to Manny Pacquiao. What makes any boxing fan truly believe that Keith Thurman wants that kind of smoke? I'm sorry, it's lies. It's bullshit. I don't believe it. And if you're out there in dreamland and you're listening to this and you believe Keith Thurman's batch of bullshit, I got a bridge for sale for you. It's in Brooklyn. It's open 24 hours a day. You can use it whenever you like. And guess what? You only gotta PayPal me $100 and it's yours. Moving on. Okay. As per EssentiallySports.com, Dana White has expressed extreme interest in a rematch between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. But this time, Dana White wants it in the octagon. The only reason I'm even saying anything about this is because it is the two biggest names in combat sports, even to this day. Now, Floyd Mayweather is retired, and in my opinion, if Floyd Mayweather were to step in a boxing ring with any top 15 welterweight today, he would likely get his ass whipped. And I don't say that disrespectfully. He hasn't been boxing really for 3 years, and 3 years ago when he did fight Conor McGregor, he fought a UFC fighter in his first real professional boxing match. Conor McGregor had no chance to win. It was a money grab, and it was a great event, and people enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It wasn't cool. It wasn't boxing. The last time Floyd Mayweather was in the ring with a real boxer, 4 or 5 years ago, he's not going to set foot in the ring now at 42, 43 years old. He's not going to set foot in the ring with a prime lion right now like a Terence Crawford or an Errol Spence. He would get eaten alive. I would venture to say right now, Sean Porter would put an ass whooping on Floyd Mayweather today. So for me, I don't think the chances of Floyd Mayweather setting foot in an octagon, I don't think they exist at all. It's too much of a risk for him. If he loses, he'll be embarrassed. There's no real money in it for him. I mean, there could be some money. If he's that broke, as some people like 50 Cent have said, and recently 50 Cent did say that Floyd Mayweather was broke. I haven't seen his books, I don't know, but 50 Cent said this. And 50 Cent is someone who is financially someone who is fairly adept. So he may know something, but whatever he knows, whatever he doesn't know, the only way that he would get in the octagon is if he was really broke. So if you do see Floyd getting in the octagon, you know he's broke and you know he's going to lose. Floyd stands no chance of winning an MMA contest of any sorts with Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is a killer. Right now, he would likely beat just about everyone in the top 10 in his weight class in the octagon. Right now, today. So if Floyd Mayweather setting foot in there, that's a bad idea. And I don't think it's ever going to happen. But I got to touch on it because it is Dana White, it is the UFC, and it is the two biggest names in combat sports. It's not really boxing, but it involves Mayweather, so it's a little boxing. Moving on. Finally, there's a little thing I'd like to touch upon. We're going to call the Fool of the Month. The Fool of the Month award clearly goes to one of my favorite, actually one of my very favorite boxers from the United Kingdom currently. And his name is Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders, you're an unlucky idiot, but you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Look, I know what you said was a joke. I know the video you made was a joke because everyone is quarantined or stuck inside, but it wasn't funny, man. It wasn't funny. It might have been funny to you and your friends. It might have even been funny in a closed room with even more people than that. But in today's society, in today's social climate, Billy, you gotta know better. And Billy, you had just somewhat been in the talkings and maybe even secured, I don't know, I didn't see the contract, but you may have secured that Canelo fight that you were after, that big money fight that you were after. But you and I both know, with the coronavirus and with you pulling your antics, that fight is all but flushed down the toilet. You really are unlucky and you really are an idiot. Because this hurts your chances. It hurts your chances fighting in your next fight in the United Kingdom against, let's say, Callum Smith, because the Canelo fight is gone. Canelo's going to fight Triple G in the third installment of their trilogy because Canelo sees what's happening. He sees the coronavirus. He doesn't need you for filler right now. There can't be no fights in May and June. He was looking to fight you, I believe it was May 2nd around there, Billy Joe Saunders. But Billy Joe Saunders, you are the idiot of the month, clearly. You are the fool of the month. You blew it. Bad joke. You're unlucky. You're an unlucky idiot. You're one of my favorite fighters. Billy Joe Saunders is one of my favorite fighters in the United Kingdom. I think he's the most skilled. He probably is the most skilled at 168 today. I personally think he would beat Benavidez. I personally think he would beat Callum Smith. I personally think, these are my thoughts, I personally think he would beat Caleb Plant. I think he would beat every champion at 168. I do. And I think that he would stand a real good chance to make Canelo look bad in a 12-round fight. But Billy Joe Saunders is not going to knock Canelo out. Billy, you're not going to knock Canelo out. It's not going to happen. Billy Joe Saunders not being able to knock Canelo out, Canelo is never going to lose a decision again. This is one of those things in boxing where everyone knows that the playing field is tilted. And sometimes it's tilted a little bit for a hometown fighter, just a little. In Canelo's case, it's tilted just about like that. You got to knock Canelo out to get a draw. That's been said many times in the past, but it's true of Canelo Alvarez. You have to knock out Saul. You better call Saul. You have to knock out Canelo Alvarez to get a draw. That's just the way it is. He's never going to lose a decision again. The guy's paid his dues. He's a big cash cow in boxing, fine. Billy, it's probably better. It's probably better for Billy Joe Saunders not to fight Canelo. Not for his finances. But it's not a winnable fight for Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders is not going to knock out Canelo. He's not going to win a decision. So even though you're the fool of the month with your terrible joke about domestic violence, which is not funny, getting your suspension from the British Board of Boxing Control, that may not have hurt your chances in an international fight. But if you want to fight Callum Smith in a unification, you guys are both in Matchroom. Eddie Hearn promotes both of you. You guys are both from the UK. That would be a tremendous domestic rivalry, a big fight. And that would also be definitely broadcast internationally. You know that's getting picked up by DAZN. You know that would probably be on pay-per-view in some places in the United States. That's a huge fight. That's tremendous. One way or another, that's a big fight. But you kind of shit the bed there, Billy, with your comments, with your terrible jokes. So, Billy, you've said some dumb things in the past. You've done some dumb things in the past. And I like you a lot, my man. And listen, I'm a bonehead at times, too. I'm a beathead myself. It's true. Sometimes I can be a beathead. We all can be beatheads. We all can do dumb stuff. Billy, you gotta stop. You're not gonna get paid that way. Your best bet right now, Billy Joe Saunders, is to fight Callum Smith. If you can't score the Callum Smith fight, my man, you've got to figure something else out. You're not gonna get in the ring with Canelo. It's not gonna happen. He's going back down to 160. Triple G is he's never going to fight outside of 160. He's going to stay at 160. Maybe you can fight him at a catch weight, but he's never going to come to 168. And it's not going to make you any money, and it's not going to be time efficient. The best thing for you to do is to concentrate on a Callum Smith fight, try to make things right with the British Boxing Board of Control, get in the ring with Callum Smith and unify. If you unify, you get that Ring Magazine belt, because a lot of people forget Callum Smith has that Ring Magazine belt right now. So you'd have his belt, your current WBO belt, and the Ring Magazine belt. So in closing, I just want to say right now, thank you, each and every one of you, for tuning in. This was our premiere episode of Listen to Me. Because when it comes down to boxing, Dreamland Boxing Unlimited, we know how to give it to you straight. Remember, I love each and every one of you, but not near equally. Until we meet again, my friends, peace.